Mahalo nui for inviting me to speak here today on behalf of the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. I'd like to congratulate the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement on holding its 21st Annual Native Hawaiian Convention, an event which OHA has sponsored and supported for many years over these last 2 decades. This convention has proven to be an important gathering of similarly focused organizations that share a common goal, finding ways to move the Native Hawaiian community forward and raise a strong, vibrant, and thriving lahui. This is the first convention to be held in person in 2 years. And it is so wonderful to just be here with all of you and to see so many familiar faces as we come together to build pilina and address the issues of importance to our beloved Native Hawaiian community. This year's convention theme is Hulihia, which refers to change. I remember John DeFries of the Hawaii Tourism Authority using the term hulihia to describe what needed to happen with Hawaii tourism a couple of years ago during a keynote speech. John spoke of the need to shift away from the pedal to the metal Hawaii tourism marketing approach to a destination management approach, because more and more tourists is the problem and not the solution. Hulihia is also the term used to describe the upheaval that COVID-19 brought to business as usual in Hawaii, and was a call by many leaders in Hawaii to adopt new and innovative approaches to building a better Hawaii in COVID's aftermath. It's my opinion that moving away from more marketing to a destination management approach is the right idea, because Hawaii residents want less tourists everywhere, less traffic, less destruction of our wahipana, less overcrowding at our beaches, less destruction of our natural resources, and less tourist Airbnbs taking up our precious housing and destroying residential neighborhoods, while still having the jobs and economic benefits that tourism brings. Hulihia means that we need to not only reform our approach to tourism, but also create, build, and foster new economic engines so that we are not so dependent on the tourism and the military, which are the 2 main economic engines driving the Hawaii economy. OHA's role in making this hulihia happen will be about building human capital, which will be a key ingredient in this effort, because our people need to have the training, skills, and ability to envision and make this change rather than adopting a business as usual approach. The collective challenge for all of us who will attend convention is how do we together help shape positive change for our people and move the lahui forward in an increasing difficult world. I have long believed in the power of lokahi, in unity, in working together toward a common goal. In Hawaiians working together to better all of our lives. And it is only through a spirit of lokahi and all of our organizations working in unity that we can truly enable a vibrant lahui. The Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement and all of the other Hawaiian-serving organizations are crucial to our collective success in advancing Hawaiians in all aspects of their lives. In education, in health, in housing, in economic development, and in advocating for the self-determinative rights of our people.
In the words of this Olelo No'eau, number 323, e kua hui like I ka ahana. Let everybody pitch in and work together. Today at the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, we are moving forward to better the conditions of our Native Hawaiian people. Our 15-year Mana I Mauli Ola strategic plan responds to community input by focusing on the immediate needs of our people in the areas of education, health, housing, and economic stability, all on a foundation of strengthened ohana, mo'omeheo, and aina. Our trustees have implemented a new governance structure, our policy framework. And we have moved forward to activate and revitalize the 30 acres of waterfront properties in Kaka'ako and continue to work with the community on our Wahiwa lands. As part of an overall effort to develop our assets and continually work to strengthen and diversify our endowment, we have reorganized the agency, reducing overhead costs, streamlined operations, and redirected resources to our beneficiaries and communities. Our grant awards to community nonprofit organizations serving the Native Hawaiian community have increased from $6 million in 2006 to $16 million in 2022. Thank you. This is a record amount for our agency, and our overall two-year fiscal biennium budget for grants and sponsorships has been set at $30.2 million, also a record for our agency, and up from the $24.5 million that was set for the last fiscal biennium. In the interest of financial transparency, we have posted 18 years of financial statements and audit information on our website, plus 3 years of single audits of the Native Hawaiian Revolving Loan Fund, completed by 4 independent audit firms. Each audit conducted by those firms provided an unqualified or clean opinion. This is a new day at OHA, and we will continue to seek excellence. We will continue to kulia I kanu'u, and we will continue to ho'omau until we are satisfied that we have created the type of agency that the Native Hawaiian people truly deserve, an agency that is the best that it can possibly be. This past legislative session was a monumental one for the Native Hawaiian people. The state legislature's $600 million appropriation to the Department of Hawaiian Homelands was such welcome news and long coming. These funds provide the Native Hawaiian community an opportunity to begin to heal from the injustices of the past. Injustices Hawaiians have suffered in their own homeland, inflicted by their own state government. And these funds have the potential to make a significant impact in the lives of our people. Support for the housing needs of Native Hawaiians through the Department of Hawaiian Homelands is a key component of our strategic plan. And we applaud this year's legislature as one that took the concern for Native Hawaiians to heart while addressing the state's serious shortage of affordable housing. There is much to be done. We look forward to the work ahead, and we stand ready to assist DHHL in addressing the cultural housing needs of our people. This legislative session also saw the collaborative support from both the House and Senate of our Public Land Trust Bill, signed into law as Act 226 by Governor Ige. It raised annual payments to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs from $15.1 million, which we've had for 20 years, to $21.5 million. It provided an additional sum of $64 million also, and outlined plans for the formation of a working group to continue discussion on this crucial issue. This bill represents important progress that we hope leads to increased dialogue and a better understanding of the state's constitutional obligation to the Native Hawaiian people and strategies to fulfill it. In truth, the Public Land Trust Bill is not a bill for OHA. This is a bill for all Native Hawaiians, and we will continue to advocate for our beneficiaries and work with our legislators until we can arrive at a fair, just, and pono resolution of this matter while stewarding the resources prudently. We Hawaiians must continue to work together to better the lives of our people. I see more and more examples of this every day, and it fills my heart with so much aloha. OHA and CNHA were two of some 60 organizations that came together when our people needed us most through the Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander Response Recovery and Resilience Team, more commonly known as the NHPI 3R. We salute the leadership provided by Dr. Sherry Daniels of Papa'olalokahi and Dr. Keawe Kaholokula of the Department of Native Hawaiian Health of the University of Hawaii on this fine example of a collective impact model that served not only Hawaiians, but our Pacific Islander cousins as well. Last fiscal year, OHA's grants program supported more than 80 Hawaii-based nonprofit organizations, including CNHA, that have projects, programs, and initiatives that serve the Lahui in alignment with our strategic plan. We recognize that the needs of the Hawaiian people are many, and that we cannot accomplish our mission of raising a beloved Lahui alone. By supporting these organizations that are already serving the Lahui, by accomplishing great things in our community, we can together make a greater impact for our people. We believe in the power of Lahui, Lokahi. In our print and online publication, Kawai'ola, which registers some 70,000 print and online worldwide subscribers, we have carved out a platform for important news from our community. Readers can review monthly columns from such entities as Lili'u Okalani Trust, the Native Hawaiian Education Council, the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, the Sovereign Council of Hawaiian Homestead Associations, the Native Hawaiian Hospitality Association, the Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce, Papa'olalokahi, the Native Hawaiian Legal Corps, and voices from Opio and community. Because our message is one of unity, and our hope is to bring all organizations that serve our Native Hawaiian audience together with one purpose: to better the conditions of Native Hawaiians in our beloved Lahui, OHA works most effectively with communities for communities. In fact, there are times when people do not associate the good work that OHA does because we work through a network of community organizations with an approach that it is the most efficient use of our funds to support the most effective community-based organizations already serving the Hawaiian community. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, the Office of Hawaiian Affairs took proactive steps utilizing our resources to support our Lahui, addressing food security, particularly for our kupuna. In April 2020, OHA appropriated $450,000 to launch Kaya Ulu Meals, a partnership with a statewide network of 13 community-based service organizations to deliver 13 weeks of locally sourced food to more than 9,300 native Hawaiian kupuna. In May 2020, our trustees approved a $3 million emergency relief package to help Native Hawaiians impacted by the economic crisis. Another $2.17 million was added to OHA's existing emergency financial assistance program to help Native Hawaiians struggling economically, and $830,000 was awarded to Native Hawaiian organizations that promote community-based food security, helping our local farmers, fishermen, and ranchers. As another example, OHA has worked with community members to advocate for and help publicize the need for the Miloli'i community-based subsistence fishing area on Hawaii Island. Last month, the State Board of Land and Natural Resources adopted rules and regulations to indeed designate this area as a community-based subsistence fishing area, ensuring abundant stocks of priority species and high-quality fishing now and in the future for residents and visitors to Miloli'i. Thank you. When the Public Land Trust Bill was working its way through the state legislature this year, OHA received supportive testimony from more than 80 individuals and organizations who responded to our call for kokua and support. Together, we helped pass this bill, which will bring more positive change to our community. OHA continues to litigate mismanagement of Mauna Kea as a wahipana, a sacred place. OHA prepares for greater role in the matters of military engagement, consultation, including but not limited to the issues of military leases of areas like Pohakuloa. OHA's Compliance and Enforcement Unit continues to raise issues regarding the state's responsibilities for iwi kupuna and sacred sites and supporting effective operations of island burial councils. The needs of the Native Hawaiian community are many, but remember the words of our ancestors that "A'ohehana nui ke aluia." No task is too big when done together by all. So mahalo nui to the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement for bringing all of us together for this convention. Together, we will strategize ways to bring about more positive change for our people. We can stand on a foundation of while we strengthen our ohana, mo'omeheo, and aina, we can make a difference for our people by working together. And we can together, indeed, ho'oulu lahui aloha, raise a beloved lahui. Mahalo.